WKYT Studios in Lexington, this is Kentucky Newsmakers with Bill Bryant.
Good morning from WKYT News. Hope you're having a nice weekend. An interesting edition of Kentucky Newsmakers today. We'll hear from the mayor of fast-growing Georgetown. Tom Prather is back in the office that he first held back in the 1980s. That's later, but first, Lexington Police and the NAACP have been working together, forging relationships between citizens and law enforcement. They faced neighborhood crime and violence head-on and held a community meeting to talk about their cooperation. By being proactive, they hope to avoid the tension and problems that have plagued other cities around the country. The NAACP has also spoken out recently on the issue of equity in Fayette County schools. William Saunders is president of the Lexington chapter of the NAACP, and Lexington Police Chief Mark Barnard is here with him today, and we appreciate both of you gentlemen coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Interesting topic and an interesting time in that both of you came into leadership in this community at the same time. And all of a sudden you realized you needed each other, right?
Exactly.
William, tell us about that, why this cooperation has been forged and what you're trying to accomplish in the community.
I think the main reason why we actually came together through happenstance, if you will, because of all the things that were going on, not only in our city, but in the surrounding cities and the country as a whole. We had the outbreak in Ferguson, the outbreak in Baltimore, the outbreak in Cleveland, the outbreak in California. And so my thing is, as being a part of the NAACP, is I wanted to be proactive versus reactive. And so I thought the best thing for me to do is to actually get in touch with the person that's in charge of our police department, because they're supposed to be here to serve and to protect.
And Chief, that has been a very nice relationship.
It has been a tremendous relationship. The first time we met, William actually has this unique aura about him. First of all, he's a graduate of our Citizens Police Academy, meaning he went through, so he learned our agency from the inside out. Then he actually was at Ferguson, and so when I found out that he had been a graduate of our academy, had gone to Ferguson, I reached out to him and I wanted to know, and Eastern Kentucky University wanted to meet with him and say, what's your perspective, because you know law enforcement from being a graduate and from also being in Ferguson on the ground. Then it just happenstance, and we found out later on that he was the NAACP president and was just elected. So then we met. We met with his organization, our organization, and we have opened each organization up, and we found so much commonality in between us. You know, law enforcement's a paramilitary organization. William served his country in the 101st Airborne. He understands service. He understands giving back to the community. And we have had this very unique relationship that I think throughout the country, I wish other people had the opportunity to do, and partnering with helping stuff in the community right now. So it's very fortunate.
So what are the kinds of conversations that you've had?
We have very blunt conversations at times. We talk about body cameras and talking about that issue going throughout the country. We talk about immersing law enforcement and not as an occupying force, but talking about how we should be community-oriented policing, how we need to help with children in our community. We have a lot of neat programs that are getting ready to happen right now that we're hoping to finalize next week about working with schools, about working with children. He and I are working on re-entry programs for people that have felony charges and trying to find job opportunities. So every conversation just about that we have is about how service and helping other people, which is very, rewarding for us.
William, are you pleased with the relationship you've been able to forge with the police department and tie into the community?
I'm very much pleased with it. I think Chief Barnard is a good young man, I should say. We do have some issues, if you will, and I want him to understand that even though we have a relationship, still I'm going to hold him accountable as he is going to hold me accountable. I know one that, as he mentioned earlier, talked about the body cameras. That's one of the things that's very important to us, because that's going to make us accountable, make the police department accountable, and make us accountable as citizens. And that was actually brought up in the meeting that we had. We had a town hall meeting in the Winburn Middle School, and that went real well.
Do you encourage citizens to empower themselves by speaking out, speaking up when they have concerns?
I do. I encourage that, but it's very important that first of all, before we get too radical with it, that we always get the facts of whatever the issue is. Get the facts first, and then we take it from there.
And keep it on that particular issue at that time?
Exactly.
How do you describe it? It's interesting in that you grew up here. You went to Tate's Creek?
Went to Tate's Creek. I graduated from Tate's Creek.
And then you were away for many years, and,
Right.
you've come back to Lexington. How do you describe the climate in Lexington and in the neighborhoods right now?
The climate is just like it is. We have different seasons. It changes. When I came back, it was still Lexington, but it had grown. There's an influx of people coming in. The city's getting bigger. We started to look a little bit like the big cities now, but overall it's still a safe place. It's a nice place to raise kids, and with the police department that we have and the chief that we have in place, I think it's going to be just fine.
The NAACP and others, including the state education commissioner, have spoken out recently about the achievement gap within the schools in Fayette County, and there have been questions raised about whether adequate resources are being directed or if resources are even being properly directed to try to address that issue. Do you continue to monitor that?
We continue to monitor that. We stay on top of it, and we're going to stay on top of it. We're not going to go away. There's an issue with our Title I monies, our Section 7 monies are funded. Our high poverty schools are not getting the proper funding that they should be getting. And so we're concerned with that because we're concerned with our minority children, we're concerned with our disabled children, we're concerned with our poverty-stricken children, and we want everybody to go with an equal share and get the proper dues that they deserve.
Chief, as you police this community, can you see the results of inequity in schools and income gaps?
We have this discussion weekly, and here's the great thing about William that I have found, and he is just as concerned about children as I am. For me, it's a public safety issue because we need to provide the best that we can for children. In Lexington, we have schools that are struggling right now. We have 2 schools currently that William and I are focusing on right now because, and we met with them, they have great teachers in the school and great leadership. And when I met with them just this week, William and I sat down and talked to them and said, how can we help you all and give you more resources and help and help the kids in the school? And they have these tremendous ideas. So part of it is, I think, getting those individuals the materials that they need to succeed. I see it, Bill, when we met with these 2 schools just yesterday,
Right.
They were excited. The fact that the law enforcement, public safety is going to come into the schools and help with them, and that the NAACP, and we're partnering with Eastern Kentucky University that's going to be able to come into these schools and provide some more resources, and that's fantastic. So we want children to succeed, and if they don't have the materials or the opportunity to succeed, then actually it is a public safety issue because what do they turn to? They turn to other opportunities, which could be crime. So on the upfront for us, being involved and having great partnerships with NAACP, Eastern Kentucky University, and working with these schools, it pays us up front to help them.
William said that he is watching and that he wants to be sure that all of what is said is followed through with deeds, and you're aware of that. And Chief, do you welcome that?
I do. You know, when we talk about, I go to these neighborhood meetings all the time. I like going to the neighborhood meetings because I want to hear what people are thinking. And when he organized the first one at Winburn, you got to listen. I got to be able to listen to everyone in the community and filter it and bring it back and say, this is what we perceive, this is what the community is perceiving, and this is what our other organizations. And then in that mix is where you find out really the direction that you need to go to. I think every organization needs a sounding board, and here's the uniqueness about it. In our country right now, it's so divisive that to have these organizations really come in together and to say, okay, here's what we want to do. We each have different issues that we have to work on, but we want to get to this point. We talk, I bet, every day or every other day at least. And let me say how supportive he is of the police department. We had some tragic incidents occur last month with homicides and the city feeling what's going on and unsure of itself, and we were working diligently through that. The first person that called Monday morning to check on the officers and how they were doing was William Saunders, our office. And that told me, and that told the officers, is really that there's a partnership there that really wants to see each one be successful. And that means a lot to the officers that are working the street. We were riding in a car just the other day, and he stopped, and I said, here's an issue that we have on this block. He got right out of the car and went over and started talking to people and saying, look, here's the issues, here's what needs happening, and I'm going to have a meeting. You are welcome to come to it and come talk to me about it. So he's not afraid to get out and talk to people. He's not afraid to approach people, and he's not afraid when he sees something or people bring something to him to approach it and say, let's look at it differently.
How important is that dialogue?
Dialogue is very important. We not only have dialogue with the police department, we're having dialogue now with the people, our citizens that are actually in our city. As he was talking about, we actually went into, I guess you would say, a high poverty area, and just let people know that, okay, we're here. We want to hear from you, hear what you have to say, what are some of the issues that you have, and how can we address them. And we want you to understand that, first of all, we need to get to know the police department, know who they are. Let's build a relationship with them, because all police officers are not bad people.
Do we need to return to a time, and the chief referred to community policing, and I'll get both of you to answer this one quickly, but do we need to return to a time when, you know, when you see an officer, you may know his name, you know, you've seen, you know, there probably won't, we won't be returning to Andy Griffith times again by any means, but that there is a relationship where people feel they can very comfortably talk to a police officer whom they may know.
Exactly. I've mentioned this to a few of the police officers, is that we really have to get you guys busy now in the community. You have to show up in the community outside of police calls, whether it be raking yards, help painting buildings, or speaking to some of our elderly people. Just being in the neighborhood and saying hello so people can get a chance to know who you are.
And you're moving that direction?
We have started that. We started it a while back looking at working with the We Care program, which was very successful going out. I have actually seen, and we talked about it as a staff, I have actually seen more interactions and people posting whether an officer, Childers, was buying Frosties or the freezes at Speedway. Officer Steele was at the ballpark. We had to break up a disorder, then was playing softball or fastball with the kids. They struck him out. He said he didn't strike out, but I think he did. So, you know, I see those positive interactions more and more. And the funny thing is, we hadn't seen them in the past. I think they were occurring, but people are taking the time and the opportunity to send it into our office and say, hey, we want to recognize this officer. And he says that every meeting he goes to. If you're having an interaction, positive or negative, you need to let that law enforcement agency know. And people are sending in positive interactions. So I see it moving in that direction more, and it's important for us. It's important to get out of the cars. It's important for them to walk into schools and see the kids. It's important for them to go and spend as quality time as they can in the areas that they're working. So people, and we tell them, laterally the communication, call that officer directly if you're having an issue and come over there. We see that a lot, and we're working pretty heavily in the Georgetown East area right now with some of that community-oriented policing models, and it's been very successful for us.
How does the future look?
The future looks bright, but I do want to be realistic also, and let people be aware that, and I mentioned to the chief, because they did a graduation ceremony. So I want people to understand that, yes, NAACP was a little setback with it because we didn't have the minority representation in our police force that I feel like that we should have. So that's why I came to him and mentioned to him, and I think he's doing a good job in trying to get more minorities on the police force.
And can you help in that regard as well? Do you speak
Yes.
Okay.
That's the first thing I said is help me. Whatever you can do, help me. And that's exactly it. We don't want. We want a very diverse organization. We want people from different cultures, different races. We want people coming in that have a different lens on things. And the first thing I asked was, help me, William. You can reach out to other groups that I can't. Help me and bring people in, know our organization. And he's been fantastic with it, I'll be very honest. Every time we go somewhere, he's like, you ought to join this organization. It's good. So he's a great spokesman for us.
Well, I appreciate you coming in very much today and sharing what's going on out there that may be invisible to some people. And I guess your word is find out what's going on. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I appreciate if you contact us. Check us out on our website, www.lexnwaacp.org, or you can call the office, 859-252-7336.
Okay, we'll make that available to folks as well on our website. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, sir.
Chief, thank you. We appreciate you as
Thanks,
always.
Bill.
And we're back in just a moment. We'll be visiting with Georgetown Mayor Tom Prather, talk about what has been labeled a boom town over there with all the growth on Kentucky Newsmakers. Welcome back into WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers. Georgetown has seen incredible growth over the last quarter of a century or so, but in recent years it has rightly been labeled a boom town. The home of Georgetown College and the Kentucky Toyota plant, its population has jumped to now at least more than 31,000. That's the estimate, about triple what it was in 1990. The city is constantly challenged to keep up with growth and to plan ahead. Georgetown's mayor is Tom Prather. If you think he is a blast from the past, you're right. Prather was first the mayor there in the 1980s when Toyota was just being built and the cityscape was changing forever. And Mayor, it's good to see you and thanks for coming.
Thank you, Bill. Delighted to be with you today.
I would assume that the city has changed some since your first time around. What was it like when you entered that office this year for the first time since you had been there those years ago?
Well, it's been a fascinating process coming back into the mayor's office. Our community has grown. There's a lot more people. There are more road miles. But the issues remain largely the same. Most of our challenges remain largely the same. And the great resources that we have with a group of citizens that are engaged and wanting to have a great community, those remain as well.
The term boomtown is thrown around. Isn't it amazing, though, that Georgetown population has tripled since 1990? When you think about that, how in the world do you keep up with that?
Well, it's difficult, and you know, I'm not sure if I want to fully embrace the boomtown label. Frequently, boomtowns grow too quickly, and they can't handle that growth, and they ultimately have a poor outcome. We're trying to plan for our growth and do it very carefully, so that we stay the great community that we are today.
What is driving the growth in Georgetown?
I think it's a number of things, Bill. It's there are many employment opportunities. Clearly, the Toyota plant has an impact, but we're right beside two major interstates, I-75 and I-64. Great rail access, strong work ethic, and a very high quality of life. It's just a neat community to be in.
How do you strike that balance between, you know, the historic college and those beautiful homes there that are along the main streets, and then, as you say, these developments that are going on the outskirts? A new interchange is coming in. I mean, the changes keep coming.
I think our challenge remains the same. How does our community take advantage of its many economic opportunities, yet not squander what has made Georgetown a very special place for 200 years? And I think we do that in a variety of ways. We engage citizens. I think it's critical for a town that's growing quickly to reach back into our past and gather as much heritage and culture as we can, clutch it to our bosom, and bring it with us into the future. We need to remember where we came from and who we are, and let that be a part of determining what we'll look like in the future.
You have this new interchange going in on I-75, a new exit 127. How will that change? There'll be a major access road there. Will that be developed?
That's going to be a big deal for Georgetown. The new interchange is a $37 million investment that has already begun construction, should be complete by late next fall. And that exchange will also have access roads that connect to Cherry Blossom and over to Champion Way in Georgetown. It'll be a major traffic reliever for Cherry Blossom, since so many folks can use this new interchange to go both north and south on I-75. This interchange will be designed a bit like the I-75 exchange near Hamburg, where you can go just about any direction that you choose to.
Do you learn the lessons of some other communities when you see that sometimes those reliever arterials become very busy roads themselves and a lot of traffic lights are necessary, and suddenly you can have gridlock in an area that was intended to relieve things?
You know, one of the things that we face in local government is unintended consequences, and we tend to trip over them all the time. The traffic planners have looked at this very carefully. We think it will give substantial traffic volume relief for at least the next 5 or 7 years. Then we anticipate we'll probably grow back into similar traffic volumes that we see today.
A new police station being built. You had one. There was a problem in that it had been built in an area that was contaminated by lead, and they had to abandon that building, and it's kind of been moved around in recent years. But finally, you'll have a new headquarters.
Our police department situation has not been satisfactory for a number of years, but with the efforts of the last administration and our follow-through, we'll dedicate a new police department headquarters in either late June or July. Bill, it's going to be state-of-art. The degree of functionality that's been built into this station is just remarkable. And Chief Michael Bossie and I have set a goal of having the finest police department in the state of Kentucky. They're finally going to have facilities that match the quality of our officers.
Our earlier discussion was with the Lexington police chief and the Lexington president of the NAACP. They have forged a real friendship. You indicated to me that you're working to have those kinds of communications in Georgetown as well.
It's absolutely essential that we develop those lines of communication, develop those relationships, so that our community can prosper as much as possible. And Bill, I think all of us in local government are aware that we're always one bad traffic stop away from a potential incident. And it's our job as community leaders to establish those relationships ahead of time, so that if we ever do have a problem situation, we can deal with it as productively as possible.
Fire protection, always important in a community. Do you think as Georgetown continues to grow and spread, that you can keep up with that?
I think we've done a great job to this point. We have a full-time professional fire department with 55 firefighters. That's a huge number for a city the size of Georgetown. Scott County Fiscal Court also has a full-time paid fire department with about 45 members. So as a broader Scott County community, I think we probably have as strong fire service protection as any other community in central Kentucky.
You've been in public office 34 years, and you served many years in county government as well as a magistrate there. Here comes that question that a lot of local leaders dodge from time to time, and that is about, was there ever realistic talk about a merger of Scott County government and the municipalities? You know,
there was, and we actually got it on the ballot at one point a number of years ago. Bill, I think that if we started with a blank piece of paper and we're going to design a form of local government, we'd probably design something that looks like merger. But we don't start with a blank piece of paper. We start with 200 years of history, existing communities that are proud of their identity. And what we determined in Scott County after our first merger effort failed, and I found it to be probably the most bitterly divisive issue that I've ever faced as a local elected official, that we can achieve most of the same efficiencies through cooperation and interlocal agreements as we can with merger. So we've tried to accomplish the benefits of merger without the rancor of merger.
All right, Tom Prather is mayor of Georgetown, a fast-growing city, and he says he's trying to keep that label Boomtown off for now. We're back in just a moment, our remaining moments with him on WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers. Welcome back to WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers. We're continuing our discussion now with the mayor of Georgetown, Tom Prather. Bluegrass has the large city of Lexington and the surrounding fast-growing cities like Georgetown and Richmond and Nicholasville and others especially. Does the need arise for some regional perspective when it comes to planning here?
Clearly, I think we need to have more regional conversations about the way we interact together. It seems to me that on a regional basis, our business community has figured that out well. Even our not-for-profit communities have figured out regional approaches well. Government has not been quite as progressive in that regard, but I do think we need to have more cross-county communication.
I know you're excited about a project over there, Water Street in Georgetown. What's going to be happening there?
Well, Water Street, of course, is where the Royal Spring is. It's where Elijah Craig made the first bourbon whiskey. And we have a goal of making Water Street the coolest street in central Kentucky. We've got some restaurants getting ready to open down there right across from Royal Spring Park. We have a distillery that's getting ready to open down there. And with Water Street being a bookend for one end of Main Street, and our museum, which is getting ready to reopen after a significant renovation, will be the bookend on the other end of Main Street. Healthy, vibrant downtown.
What keeps people excited about their city?
I think a belief that we can do things better, that we can grow and improve. When we talk about growth and potentially being a boomtown, we do want to grow, but I think the focus of our community is we want to grow better. We want to have better systems in place. We want to have better processes in place. We want to grow up and act like the important city that we are. Georgetown's now the 9th largest city in Kentucky. And as I look at the list in front of us, according to our news graphic, we'll quickly probably move up to 8th and then 7th.
I mean, right, you're right on the heels of Richmond at this point, right?
Well, Florence will be next. Hopkinsville will be next after that.
You're going to hear from those mayors. They're not going to like that. All right, 25th anniversary of your Sister Cities program coming up.
Just delighted that we've had a dynamic relationship with Tahara, Japan for 25 years. This year, we're going to celebrate the first 25 years. And importantly, Bill, we're going to use this occasion to plan the foundation for the next 25 years so that relationship can stay strong.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. It harkens back, as I remember us doing interviews back in the 1980s, but
Indeed.
good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mayor Tom Prather of Georgetown. We want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Kentucky Newsmakers here on WKYT. I'll see you bright and early on WKYT this morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m., on mid-morning at 10, and on WKYT News at noon. Follow KY Newsmakers on Twitter. Thank you for being with us, and have a good week ahead.